This is the Transformers Age of the Primes Titan class from the 13th Star Optimus Prime, or Star Convoy, the 13th Prime in the series of these Age of the Primes figures. And wow, just look how amazing this packaging is. Obviously, I picked up this figure from Amazon, and this is what free shipping looks like, folks. You know what? Last few packages I've received from Amazon just came in near pristine condition. They were packed beautifully in shipping boxes with the crumpled manila paper and all that. But this one, they couldn't even put it in a box. I mean, it's all right not to have bubble wrap or those peanuts or whatever, but put it in a box. They just slapped the stickers, the receipts onto the box, and just look how gorgeous the box looks now. I mean, it seems like it's okay, but you can see all the dents and dings that this thing has. And check this out. This is my favorite part. Like, look at that. There's an actual hole in the box. So, great job, Amazon. I am so looking forward to unboxing this, and it is going to be fun just trying to get rid of all these stickers because I keep the box, and because the box art is just amazing. And you know how I always purge my collection annually, and it's a lot easier to sell stuff with the box. So good job, Amazon. So happy with this purchase. And here is Star Optimus Prime, or Star Convoy, out of the box, and man, he looks great. I was completely surprised at how well this thing looked. It looked weird when they first revealed it. It kind of looked like he was too bottom heavy and too spindly on top. But once you get him in hand, you start playing around and posing this guy. I think the proportions work. And more importantly, the plastic quality. I was so afraid it was going to be like the Legacy Metroplex, the Cybertron Universe Metroplex. It's going to be flimsy and all that, but it's actually pretty solid. If you remember the 2015 Robots in Disguise toy line, with Bumblebee being the leader of the Autobots, Grimlock being green, and Optimus Prime just being the advisor and all that. The plastic quality of that toy line was actually pretty spot on, was pretty solid, and this thing kind of reminds me of that. It's not super thick plastic like 2001 to 2003, but it's very, very durable. It's very solid, and I'm shocked at how premium the plastic feels. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this Optimus Prime, you're probably wondering, why does he look like a Gundam? Why does he look so weird and stylized and all that? Nothing like the G1 continuity. Well, it was 1991 when this Optimus Prime came about. 1991, we saw the decline of the Transformers brand, both in the US and in Japan. And people were just getting tired of Transformers, and Hasbro had no idea how to resurrect it. They tried, but they couldn't do it. Eventually, Hasbro would, in the later 90s, would come up with something called the Beast Wars, which would rejuvenate this Transformers brand. But before that, Transformers was dying. And even Takara, before he was obtained by Tomy, didn't really know what to do with the brand. And they tried one last attempt at resurrecting the brand by introducing a line called the Return of Convoy. Because in Japan, Optimus Prime is known as Convoy. And they decided to resurrect Optimus Prime in their own way. Because Hasbro, everybody knows they killed off Optimus Prime in the movie, and they somehow resurrected him in the season 3 of the Generation 1 cartoon. Takara decided to do their own version and spin of how to resurrect Optimus Prime. There was no anime, if you were wondering. I actually thought this was part of an anime. It's not. It's part of a series of comic books. In Japan, they call them mangas. And this publication called TV Magazine back in 1991, they published the promotional comic book for the return of Convoy toy line of Takara. And they called it the Battle Stars. More completely, it was called Fight Super Robot Lifeform Transformers, the Battle Stars. It was 12 chapters of manga showing off the newly resurrected Optimus Prime. Now, long story short, he was sort of resurrected through the power of the Zodiac, and this is supposedly the ultimate, the most powerful version of Optimus Prime, at least in the Japanese anime continuity. and he's supposed to be infused with the power of the Matrix. Instead of just having the Matrix inside him, he's sort of like merged with the Matrix of light, or the Silver Matrix, as it's been called so many names. I think it's most popularly called as the Matrix of Light, or the Light Matrix. He sort of is imbued by the powers of the Matrix, much like what the regular Matrix does. He has the wisdom of all the primes, he has durability, he has the super strength, superpowers of all the primes in one. So that's why this makes this version of Optimus Prime the most powerful, the most godlike Optimus Prime there is. This is just my take on this one, but you notice that this Optimus Prime kind of looks like a Gundam. Much like how Star Saber looks like a Gundam, this comes after that series victory. And you can see the head. It's starting to look like a Gundam more than the G1 Optimus Prime. And I think Takara wanted Optimus Prime to be more palatable with the Japanese fans. They tried to make him look more like a Gundam, because Gundam has always been very popular in Japan, whereas the blocky Transformers were in the US were not as popular in Japan. So this was their way of doing it. Resurrected Optimus Prime, and he looks amazing. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 40.5 centimeters tall, up to the tip of his antennae, or about 16 inches tall. You will notice that Hasbro has reduced the scale of their Titan class figures from about 18-20 inches to now about 15-16 inches. And for comparisons, here he is with a deluxe class figure, the Devastation Optimus Prime, and a Commander class Optimus Prime, which is the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. So you can see how he towers still as a Titan class. And here he is together with the previously released Primes in the Age of the Primes line. We've got Megatronus. We've got their leader Prima Prime. Megatronus' better half. We've got Solus Prime. And we've got Alchemist Primes. Alright, so the figure does come with a slew of accessories, starting off with these blast effects. They're not anything new, but I think these are the best colors, best version of these Siege Jetfire blast effects. These are, yeah, they're made of soft PVC plastic, and they came packed in a baggie, and the tips of these blast effects were kind of bent, so you'll have to probably use the boiling water and ice cold water method just to straighten them out. But yeah, I think these are very cool looking versions of these blast effects. I think the best ones we've had so far. Also, he comes with that huge, humongous blast effect that we originally saw with Omega Supreme, and it's colored in this it's all orange, like tangerine orange. I think this is also a better looking blaster than the Omega Supreme's blaster, or blast effects. Probably the best version of this set of blast effects. Then he comes with this. I thought this was also going to be soft and pliable, but it's not. It's rock solid clear blue plastic. This is a huge blast effect for his blaster, and it kind of doubles sort of like a lightsaber blast effect. I don't know. Hasbro's trying to cut corners and just trying to give them, since we don't have a Star Saber yet, till we get Nemesis Prime or whatever, or a Star Saber for this version, this will have to do as your Star Saber. I'm sure DNA Design will have a DK kit for that Star Saber kit. But in the meantime, this I think will act as a Star Saber. As for the robot itself, he's got tons of accessories. He's got these removable cannons on his side. He's got a, this is like his coffee dispenser. Look at that. He just pours coffee for his fellow Autobots. It's such a stupid gun. Like, you know, you can pour some coffee, or it's a nail gun. It's a double blaster. It's also used as something that the Micromaster can ride, but we'll talk about that later. He also comes with his cannon, or in this continuity, sometimes it's called the Big Bang Cannon. And it's pretty cool. It can actually hold these blasters. You gotta stick it right in, and wow, look how cool that is. Some Evo Fusion thing going on. You can also obviously put the other smaller blast effects. I think these actually look very cool as well for this gun, and so on and so forth. Now, there was one bit of accessory that really puzzled me for a while. This wasn't in the instructions. It looks like an Energon bullet or a case or a shell, and the only way I figured out what this thing was I went on Instagram and I looked at Mark Clonus's. He showed off a photo of this figure with these things photoshopped like falling out or just being launched from the cannon. So this, I believe, is the shell or the energon bullet or casing that you could put right here, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. It's a pain to just remove it. You're gonna need some tweezers or whatever, but it does fit right there. Instructions don't tell you where it goes. Thank you, Marclonus, for showing that off. But it's a very, very cool looking cannon. I just wish it had more moving parts, you know, but very, very nice, hard, solid plastic. One of his main features, as with most Optimus Prime figures, is his chest cavity. Obviously, it'll have usually the matrix, so we open it up this way. Open up this way. I just put that in. You're not supposed to do that. This is his Micromaster, Rodimus, or yeah, I guess Rodimus. Yeah, he looks like he's Rodimus, except the wings should have been on the back, whatever. So his Micromaster format, it is about the size of a Legends class figure, about 3 inches, 3.75 inches. Very, very cool. Some nice articulation, ball jointed elbows and shoulders. You got ball jointed hips, hinged knees, and yep, that's it. And he transforms into his trademark signature hot rod vehicle. Very, very cool. We'll talk about that later. Now, here you will notice that he has sort of a matrix. It is the matrix of light, or the silver matrix, or whatever they call it in the continuity for battle stars. But yeah, it's very cool. It's made of the same, I think, very similar clear blue plastic with that silver star. That is the emblem or insignia of Star Convoy, and rightly so. It's like a Cybertronian star. Yeah, it looks very, very cool, and this is where you put it. It feels hollow, and rightly so. You know, they did that on purpose because he's supposed to also be transforming not just into a truck, but also a battle station. And his legs, the reason they're big is because they can actually store a lot of stuff inside. So the right leg will store this truck of Rodimus, I think. This is, I don't know. This is probably roller that has been reincarnated into something like this. And it does open up. So it'll fit a car like Hara. We'll show that off later. And it does combine in base mode as well. Now the other leg also opens up to hold this. This is the hilt of his Star Saber, I think. The instructions tell you to just do it like this. Instantly, that's his lightsaber or his Star Saber, and he can actually hold it. It's kind of cheesy. I'm not buying it, really. It's okay. It's a sword that's made of the blast effect. I mean, come on, Hasbro. Really? Is that the best you could do? Or you could use this one. It looks like a club. Caveman's Club, Laser Energon Club. It's kind of corny, I know, but yeah, it is what it is. Now let's quickly talk about articulation, because that's one of the things that really impressed me with this figure. So the neck is on a swivel. The waist has a ratcheting swivel. Arms, they swivel out and in, forward, backward, 360. You got a bicep swivel, ratcheting elbows, and swivel wrists. The fingers actually open. 4 fingers, they do that. The hips are also on ratcheting joints. You can have him do the split, sort of. You kick the skirts up, and you go kick forward, backward. It's got a thigh swivel, ratcheting knees as well, and the feet have the rocker tilt. Now, one thing to note is the way this thing articulates, the articulation, the ratcheting joints. It feels so solid. It kind of reminds me of Transformers easily 20 years ago. And that's one of the things that I love about this figure. It got me very excited because I get to feel solid Transformer. This is how large Transformers should be. They feel massive, they have tight joints, articulated, ratcheting joints. It's so fun to pose, despite being a big figure. And shrinking down the Titan class to something like 15 inches, I think is a great move. Financially, of course, yeah, it's great, but for collectors like me who love to play around with their figures, it's a welcome thing because it's a lot easier to manipulate. Despite being a hefty, huge figure, is not too big or egregious that you lose the fun in playing with it. And yet it's not overly too small or squat that you lose the idea of a huge Titan Transformer. So I think it's genius. It might not be the perfect scale, but for playability, posing, and all that, I'm having a great time, having a lot of fun, brings back a lot of fun back into the Transformers.
For those of you who are wondering if he has light piping, he definitely has, and it is gorgeous. Look at that. Okay, so let me just correct myself. Earlier, I said that this was the Matrix of Light, or the Silver Matrix. Apparently, it's not based on this Age of the Primes mythology. I translated the inscription on the box, which describes that artifact. It translates to the Zodiac orb, which makes sense because he is in mythology powered by the Zodiac. Okay, so transformation. Let's get him into his base mode first, since it's easier to get to him in base mode, in robot mode. So the truck, go ahead and open that up. Put the cab, remove it, put it up on top, and then these guns are just gonna face that way. That's the sort of battle station mode. Put that there. Him, he's just gonna say right here. He can pilot it that way, or he pilots Optimus in robot mode. So I'll put him off there for the time being. Okay, so on to the big robot. Okay, you want to remove this part right here, transform it like this. This one actually is a nice gunner's nest for this robot, the Micromaster Rodimus, or Hot Rod. And it forms like a stap. Watch Star Wars. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it looks good that way. Okay, well, put them off there to the side. Okay, and then we can keep the gun right there, since that's where it's going to be in base mode as well. So what you want to do is, you want to raise the arms this way. Same thing with the other side. Okay, like that. Put them off to the side. These guns right here, you're going to fold down, and the head is going to, it's just going to tilt forward. Okay, like that. And then you want to rotate. And then these back panels right here, you're going to remove them. It's a bit of a parts forming thing. So, okay, move them. They're going to combine. You're going to unfold these panels up, out like that. These panels are going to fold out. And then where the wheels are of the truck, you're supposed to unfold, wait, together with these panels. Okay, fold out like that. Okay, and this is like one section of the base. It's gonna stay right there on that side. Way, move these panels out. You want to just move the side. Just move them aside. Fold the toes down, and then you want to open up the legs. Okay, like that. And then you want to just fold the leg section 90 degrees up. This thing on his rear end, you want to fold it down. These panels are just going to just fold to the side, and just put them right there. Essentially, that is the base. Wait, let me just connect this part right here. Okay. That technically is the base. Fold these down. Feels very asymmetric. Not my favorite alt mode. This one, they say you can just plug it in right here to complete the base. Hot Rod. Plug him here. This is a nice gimmick though. You plug the stap, the gunner's nest right there, and then there's a knob right here which you can actually turn to rotate him, and he's blasting. As far as the base is concerned, it's got some playability. I mean, it kind of looks cool. Not a big fan of the asymmetric mode of this layout. It's got a lot of places where you can put some Legends class figures or smaller Micromaster scaled figures. That's all well and good, but it's really not as exciting. as I thought it would be. And because it's like sort of like a parts forming thing, it's been the staple for a lot of these base modes for since Siege, Earthrise. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10, just for the base mode. And if you want to jazz up this base mode, you can put all the blast effects right there. He's got a little flaming lightsaber right there, and including this one, you can put all the blast effects, and it makes for a nice display piece, but it's really not that exciting for me. Okay, to get these figures in their vehicle mode, go ahead and unplug this part right here. Okay, and unplug the truck. Truck converts this way. Just fold it back, plug it back in, and then hot rod, feet, fold up like that, and fold the legs up. The arms are going to tab in, and then the chest is going to fold out, just like G1. There's hot rod in its futuristic Earth mode, Cybertronian vehicle mode, and then you put that car inside the truck, pull that up, and there you go, he's good to go. Put that off to the side for later. Okay, on to the main robot. These guns are going to fold down, and I'll fold them in this direction. Fold that head back up. I'm going to unpeg. Put the gun off to the side just for the time being. And then these panels right here, I'm going to fold back to their original form, original position. Okay, they're going to be the rear wheels of the truck. Okay, as for Optimus Prime, you want to rotate him, make him face backwards. Face backwards, fold the rear end stand, then the legs, and fold them back down. Okay, then this panel right here is going to stay right there. And at this point, you want to go ahead and fold back the panels here on the legs. You want to just close them up. And then the behind the knees, this panel right here is going to tab just behind the knees, just to secure that whole section right there. And as you can probably guess, this part right here, you want to reattach it back onto back part of the legs. Okay, combine them. You want to do the arms. You want to fold these panels open, and then the fists, kind of tricky. You want to fold them down, and then you kind of want to rotate and then slide, and then rotate and then slide. It's a little finagling involved, but I mean, once you do it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. So again, slide back, rotate, slide forward, rotate, and then slide back up. And fold that up like that. Okay, then you want to fold the elbows in the opposite direction or the wrong direction. And then you want to open up that chest. Okay, open up these wheels. And then you want to fold this whole head neck assembly down. Okay, now this is a little tricky because it's a little tight right here in the clearance. So you're going to have to push it all the way till it clicks. And then you want to fold back that chest, tab it back onto that neck. The arms, they're going to fold out this way. Okay. And just before you combine them, you want to unfold this part right here where the Autobot emblem is. And then you're going to fold it out like that. And then tab. Okay. And then these wheels right here, fold these panels out and then just tab them onto those shoulders or those arms. That's the front part of the truck. Last bit to transform are these panels right here. So this top part, gonna fold out, fold it up like this, fold, and then these side panels right here from this position, you want to just fold it up like this, fold it up like that, and they are going to tab here onto this panel and these tabs right here. There's like a slot right there, some pegs. This is probably the most annoying bit of the transformation because it does not stay. It loves to untab, so I'm not a big fan of that. And then if you wanted to store the truck and hot rod inside the truck. It's got some peg holes right there, which you can peg inside the legs. It'll fit on either leg, I think, but the instructions say it's best to fit it on his right leg. So go ahead and do that. The lightsaber hilt, gonna peg here inside, right there. And then just go ahead and close up the panel. And essentially, that is the truck mode. It's a nice, smooth, rolling truck mode. They've got riveted wheels on the front and really nice rear wheels right here on the back. It really rolls very nicely. If you want to see the other side. Yeah, it is very, very cool, hefty looking truck mode. I'm very, very impressed with this truck mode. It feels very solid, except for these panels right here on the side, which is just driving me up the wall. They just really do not want to stay in place. I don't know how to fix that. Maybe it's just the way you fold the legs. Okay, so if you want to spruce up this truck mode, the Big Bang Cannon or the proton gun is going to sit right there on top, and the stap or the gun turret is going to fold back and just peg in right here. And once again, if you wanted to attach all the blast effects, you can. If you do so this way, they're pretty cool. Autobots, roll out! In truck mode, you can actually fold down the ramps, the rear covers. You can actually have some vehicles slide in and park inside the truck. Just small-scaled Legends or Deluxe class figures. And if you're curious, all the blast effects, they do fit inside the left leg. The right leg will fit the truck with the hot rod in them. And essentially, you can store every single bit of accessory in truck mode. And so some final thoughts on this Age of the Primes Titan class Star Optimus Prime or Star Convoy. I really like this figure. I totally enjoyed it. I did not expect to really like this figure as much. The robot mode obviously is going to get a 10 out of 10. The base mode was probably the weakest thing about this set. I feel it was forced. I mean, there could have been a better way to just set up that whole base mode. That thing gets a 5 out of 10. The truck mode was really solid. I liked its heft. It's really a huge truck, mobile base mode. I really enjoyed that one, except for the fact that those side panels on the side of the legs, they would not stay in. I don't know why. Maybe I got a bad copy, but they just love to pop off, and it kind of ruined the playability for me. So the truck mode gets a 9.5 out of 10. Well, it's a near perfect truck mode. Overall, maybe we'll be generous and let's give this guy a decent 9 out of 10. I think it's a great set. It's definitely more than I expected. I thought it was going to be corny. I really thought the plastic quality was going to suck, but it turned out to be a very solid figure with great plastic quality, great playability, except for that base mode. Transformation and engineering was pretty good. He's got a lot of accessories. If you're thinking of getting this one or passing it up, I would suggest you give it a second look. Don't pay more than retail price for it. I would recommend this figure, especially if you're trying to complete the 13 primes. This is one to add to your collection. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Age of the Primes Titan class Star Optimus Prime or Star Convoy. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, welcome and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.